Hi everybody, welcome to another episode of our podcast. Today I would like to give a roundup of the Sultanlar Ligi playoff and then talk a little bit about the upcoming Champions League finals, which are going to take place this Saturday, 20th of May. Now, they're very related because, as we know, the two teams in the finals of Champions League are two Turkish teams. And of course, they're two of the top four teams that were also in the playoffs of the Turkish League. So let's start out with the Turkish League. We left off last time saying that we had our top four teams, Eczacibasi, Vakifbank, Fenerbahce, and Türk Hava Yolları. Now, the Eczacibasi Türk Hava Yolları matchup was quickly won by Eczacibasi, which had until then not lost a single game in Turkey the whole season. And by in Turkey, I mean in the Turkish League. Türk Hava Yolları did put up a fight. I really enjoyed those games. I like Türk Hava Yolları as a team because they always put up a fight. These matchups are always enjoyable, even though they tend to lose in these very intense matchups because they are overpowered. At the end of the day, Eczacibasi is a team that has the two-time World Championship MVP Tiana Bošković, together with other incredible players such as Voronkova, Hande Baladın, and so on. And let's not forget Maja Ognjenović, incredibly experienced setter. So they did win, and that was an easy matchup for them in a way. Way easier than the other one, Fenerbahce Vakifbank, which was the final from last year. Now last year Vakifbank prevailed. Last year Vakifbank won all the cups they contended for. 5 out of 5, incredible season for them. This year they made some changes. Not as solid a team as last year, although they're still incredible. They have still this incredible spirit. Of course, I really enjoy watching them play, but I also enjoyed seeing Fenerbahce kick them out of the finals for once. I like to bet on the underdog, although, as we know, Fenerbahce is an incredible team, especially since they got Melissa Vargas back from China, and together with Arina Fedorceva and Anna Cristina, and they are a power trio, and their supporting cast, including Eda Erdem, Gizem Erge, Aslı Kalaç, incredible team. They did prevail, was very emotional for them. As I said, last year, they came so close to winning the championship, and they lost in 5 games to Vakifbank. Now, if you're not familiar with how these matchups in the playoff work, in the semi-final, it's 2 games with a golden set rule, and that's how Fenerbahce won this time. They won the first game 3-1, I believe. They lost the second 3-0, and then they went ahead and won the golden set. I just want to give a small commentary on the golden set rule. It's not ideal. I understand why they do it. But it's not ideal because, you win the match 3-0 and then you have an extra set. If it's a good day for you, you might prevail. If it's been a good day so far, you let your guard down. It's just a bit weird. It's also like you just won 3-0 and then the other team reaches 15 before you and you're kicked out. It's just a bit weird. But anyway, it is. These are the rules. The teams know that and they know what they need to do to win. Well, it was very emotional for them to win, but it was even more so when eventually Fenerbahce did win the best of 5 matches finals against Eczacibasi. Now, first match 3-1, okay. Second match 3-2, really dangerous for Eczacibasi because they would have had to win the following 3 games. And then the finals, Fenerbahce also won 3-2 with Melissa Vargas with a 38-degree fever in tears at the end of the game. It's really beautiful to see that they have chemistry, that they're friends, and it's a really cute team. Also, Eda Erdem completely in tears. Fenerbahce hadn't won since 2017. Vakifbank has won every championship since 2018. So yeah, basically Fenerbahce swept Eczacibasi in 3 games. It was the first matches they lost in the Sultanlar Ligi, and they lost 3 in a row. They were just overpowered. Their defense wasn't up to par. I think that's what got them. And of course, the aggressiveness of Fenerbahce, especially from the service line, they did a great job, and they really, really wanted to win. They were very driven. I have to say, it felt a bit weird not to see Vakifbank involved, because I don't know, it's the story, the narrative between Fenerbahce and Vakifbank is something I really enjoy. How they one up each other all the time, and it felt a bit dull. It wasn't as exciting as last year, especially, once we got to the 3rd game, I was like, okay, Fenerbahce won. I actually didn't finish watching the game, which should tell you a lot, but really happy for Fenerbahce, they deserve it. Now, let's get to the Champions League final from this Saturday. This time, the matchup is Eczacibasi Vakifbank. Now, I would say the favorite is, in my opinion, Vakifbank. They're extremely experienced. They're hungry for a cup. They have, their superstars, including Palegonu. This is their last match together. It's the end of the season. She will be transferred to Milano in September. So I think they will give it all. On the other hand, we have Eczacibasi, who has been unable to win anything this year, although being the favorite often. They were eliminated from the club's world championship earlier last year. They didn't even make it to the finals. As we just said, they lost Sultanlar Ligi. They might just go home without any cups, which would be really disappointing for them. I heard some people say, well, if they don't win anything, Ferhat Akbaş, which is their coach, might get fired. Because, great players like Tijana Bošković, which stay in this team, they don't get wins, actually. It must be very disappointing for them. Of course, I do see they enjoy playing in that club, but it must be really frustrating if in your your national team career you're so successful, but at the club level you don't manage to drive victories home in a way that matters, which means winning championships. Then some heads might roll at the top of the organization. Yes, I'm really looking forward to this Saturday. So the match will take place in Turin, Italy. Disappointing for them to have not a single Italian team. Well, they do have Imoco in the 3rd and 4th place finals, but not the same thing. I believe this is the first time we have an all Turkish finals. Often it was Vakifbank Imoco, including last year when Vakifbank prevailed. Imoco, which as we know is a great Italian team, which just won the Italian championship, so congrats to them. They do have Isabel Haak. Would have been fun to see them match up, since Isabel Haak was a great contributor to last year's Vakifbank team winning Champions League. I'm really excited to see how this will play out. Again, I expect Tijana Bošković to do her part and to be as cold-blooded as usual. And I expect people such as Zehra Güneş to give it all. Chaka Bogu, the American middle blocker. Of course, Gabi will be there. I really hope to see Derya Cebecioğlu play. I'm a big fan of hers. She's headed to Japan next year. She's an outside hitter, Turkish outside hitter, also part of the national team, which is, let's say, a secondary player in Vakifbank. She's a young player. She doesn't get as much play time, but of course Vakifbank has some great options for outside hitters. That's a bit of a trade-off. When you play for Vakifbank, you might sit on the bench a lot, even if you would be one of the top players in other teams. And in adjacent news, we just know for sure that Tugba Senoglu has signed with Kuzeyboru, yes. Tugba Senoglu being one of the main players that actually got Vakifbank to win last year. But she transferred to Japan, I believe, she transferred to Japan to have a new experience. And now she's not coming back to Vakifbank. She's not coming back to one of the top teams. She was rumored to be joining Türk Hava Yolları, but maybe Kuzeyboru is a good choice for her because she will be on the court for sure. And, let's mix it up. Let's see if one of the other teams can get in the top 4 next year. So thank you guys for listening. Let's see how this Champions League final goes. And then we will start the national team season with Turkey, for instance, starting out on the 31st of May against South Korea and then against Serbia a couple of days later. So basically, the Volleyball Nations League is starting, will be really fun, and yeah, looking forward to a great summer. Thank you guys for listening, and see you next time.